Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and of course the boys, as always, par-1 sadness. In today's episode, well, last week's episode, more of, didn't turn my phone on mute, sorry about that. So, at least I know that the levels are right for me. In our last episode, our group of almost Inquisitorial acolytes made their way onto an orc craft. Essentially a gun cutter sized craft, but a little bit larger. After killing the Xenos and exploring the ship and finding a few things, a few trinkets, there was a problem. There was an issue. And they had to evacuate quickly. After a few tense rounds where the ship was hit a number of times from irradiated debris, and a few butt-clenching rolls after that, and our party was safe. They made their way up into an Imperial gun cutter and took sanctuary in the engine bay of that gun cutter, an engine bay that had been protected by its engine seer, who had laid down his life to ensure that no corruption or Xenos filth could tamper with the Omnissiah's work. And he appeared to have done his job well. As you can see on the map, this is the gun cutter that our acolytes are currently in. There is no oxygen on the ship, except from in the engine bay. The engine bay, Jenny has sealed the door shut and has been able to bring the ship's power core, power generators back online to idle, enough that you're able to put the air filtration systems back online and the well, just air in general. You have mild gravity. It's not Earth gravity, but you are pulled to the floor in the engine bay. They have no idea what's happened to their shuttle. The last they heard was that they were having to detach in an emergency break-off. The shuttle crew has no idea what happened to the acolytes either, as the acolytes currently are in a ship with no way to access the cockpit, and even if they could, some of the members know that the cockpit has been destroyed by the orcs. So we jump back into our game with our group huddled in a very tight engine bay. It is very claustrophobic for those of you who don't like small spaces. I'm only cutting out on Discord, which is the weirdest thing. I might mess with the sensitivity. So yes, we jump back into our game with you guys in the engine bay aboard the gun cutter. There is a hole that goes straight through the gun cutter, through all of its hulls and everything. So outside is space vacuum.
Yeah.
Let me do this straight. The hole was right here, right? We got out of here. We're in this place. Then we were able to run to here, and this place right here doesn't have oxygen.
No, that's the only place that does have oxygen and gravity. You're in the engine bay.
If we leave the engine bay, then we're technically losing oxygen. Or is there a way to leave without losing oxygen?
No, there isn't an airlock here. As soon as you open that door, all the air that's in that's in the engine bay is going to get sucked out.
Oh, that leads straight into the vacuum, doesn't it?
Yes.
Didn't we technically do that then when both Lillian and Darius got to the ship?
No, so you guys were all in void suits. So once you crossed over the threshold, the door came down, and Jenny activated the life support systems in the engine bay, which then gave you light, oxygen, and gravity.
Meanwhile, we almost pulled Princess Leia last session, the end of the ship.
Was epic, dude.
That was fucking class. Yeah, so at the moment, we're not opening those doors because that's just gonna. It's not explosive, but it's rapid decompression, which will knock someone the fuck out.
Yeah.
We only have limited oxygen in our suits anyway, so
Yeah, there's limited oxygen in the suits, limited oxygen in this room, and no oxygen to be on the door.
I think they would figure out if we signaled them with the engines.
Wait,
They'll
what
come
happened?
rescue us.
What happened with our helpful Vox boy? I swear we had a helpful Vox boy. didn't we?
Helpful Vox Boy was on board the other ship getting medical
Okay.
treatment because he got the ship shot out of him at one point.
This over here, right over here. There is no door here, is there?
There is technically a door, but it's kind of been ripped and smashed up by the orcs.
This one.
Yeah, all the rooms would have had doors. Some of them are still kind of attached. Others, have been just kicked in. But none of them would hold space vacuum out. Yeah,
What do I think? If there was a door here, we could technically send Hector. Just close the door, maybe.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
Is there any way of raising the other gun cutter from here? Or healing the other gun cutter, I should say.
So,
I only
Jenny,
have my Vox speed. So
Jenny, hearing the conversation that is going on, she turns and starts typing away on the cognitate cognitate panels. So this isn't a difficult, so I'll give her a +10. Okay, so after some 5 minutes typing away on the cognitate panel, she's going from one to the other, adjusting different levers and seemingly changing the power, because at least Liliana would take some notice of it. You would all hear it, depends on how much notice you'd put into it. The rise of the generators. It seems as if she's doing something with power.
Then it's most definitely just be like, oh, aren't you a pretty one?
It would seem that the communications array is down. I can access input, but we have no output. I will put us through now.
This is Sanctum. This is Sanctum here. We made it through. I think the others are dead. We lost them. We don't know what happened, sir.
Jenny,
Sanctum, can you hear us?
Engines?
Sanctum. Sanctum. Come in.
Oh, shit.
There's repeated for a few moments of just someone hailing the Sanctum.
Jenny, can you patch a microbead through the comms array?
I mean, she just said the output was dead, so I doubt it.
No, the input was dead. The output was fine.
Unfortunately, we can only pick up what is being broadcast. We cannot add our voices. I can attempt to do bypasses on the unit, but I may have to go out to do that.
Is it possible for you to light up the engines just for a second? Because if so, and they're still looking at us, we can technically signal SOS with the ship's engines.
I have no idea if the main engines will come online. And even if they did, we would struggle to be seen. Along with the radiation, the sensors in this area are not great. But I will attempt to.
As she does that, I just look at Liliana and go, "Oop, sorry, just give me a second, someone's coming in."
Shit. Why did I tell
I would
Liliana
like-
someone's coming in? Watch the door.
Oh no.
Great timing on that one. I was going to say, Liliana, do you want to try to contact them through other means?
I am sorry, but my skill doesn't go that far. I'd have to seriously push it, and I still wouldn't be able to reach it, because if this was a game, let's just say my reach is, 20 meters per second rating. So, no can do.
Maybe if the astropath's looking, maybe pick up at least on the psychic power, but
I mean, there might be other things looking in the darkness too. I don't think it's a good idea to just, keep thinking and hoping and really hoping in the darkness.
They're currently trying to heal the sanctum at the moment. So the silent has the sanctum has gone silent. Meaning they may be using their maybe I don't know this actually. No, I definitely wouldn't know this because I don't have battle psychers, never mind. Cancel that. I had a suggestion, realized that no, I can't actually use that. Well, I can still bring up, they're still technically healing the sanctum if we can somehow. Is there no way to repair the input using a comm bead maybe, or anything along that?
The issue is, at the moment, I would have to leave this area. And I would have to perform repairs on areas of the ship that I have no idea what are damaged. The machine spirits within this vessel will take time to appease. They'll take time to sanctify. They'll take time. You see my issue here. I need more knowledge. I need more information before I can go wandering about on a vessel that has no atmosphere. We have limited oxygen on us at the moment in our spacesuits. The ship's power supply, although it is currently running on backup batteries, has more than enough to supply us with several hours of oxygen. But if we keep on removing the oxygen from this room, that will put more drain on the life support systems, and the batteries will drain faster. The motive force cannot accept the waste of power. We must conserve. That is the logical conclusion right now, and wait.
You're a medic, right?
Yes.
Do you know of any biological way to oxygen input? Like, I hear. I know this is probably a rumor or something, but I back in training, I think one of my sergeants said sleeping lowers it.
Yes, sleeping, being placed into a comatose state would reduce your oxygen need dramatically. Sleeping, dependent on the patient, may assist in that. For now, I would recommend sitting still and staying quiet. She looks at Liliana when she says that. It will take me time to assess the damage to the vessel.
Hey, man, I haven't really spoken that much.
Okay.
It's more Mordecai that's been doing all the speaking. All the shit talking.
Real quick, how much oxygen do you roughly estimate we actually have between this room and individually in the suits?
I believe we have 10 hours in the suits, and it is difficult to judge at the moment if there are any power leaks causing the batteries to drain faster, but at the moment, logically, it would be... She stares at the data screen for a moment as numbers pass by. Maybe 13 hours. So together,
Right.
23 hours, give or take.
And as soon as we open that door, we're done with it.
No. Once we open the door, the oxygen will be removed from this room, and then once we close the door, we will have to use up more power in order to reoxygenate the room. Thus,
Okay,
we
That's
could
what I mean. So when we
determine...
open the door, we're down to 10, just with the suits.
Well, I can reoxygenate this area, Darius.
At the risk of wasting the batteries. Not wasting, but...
Well,
using
yes,
up the
but
last.
I would have to. Otherwise, we would only have 10 hours in the suit. The suit should be a last resort.
Yeah.
At the moment, we may die any moment now. The Orc vessel was destroyed by rogue debris. We are
Jenny.
still in the asteroid field.
But do you think it's somehow possible to put on some couple of small engines that wouldn't... Like,
I have no
it's
idea
possible to
if the
restart the
engines
generator.
will fire. This vessel has been dormant, ravaged by the greenskins, for the Omnisire only knows how long. To restart the plasma engines uses up a vast amount of power, Ezio. That power would be taken from life support at the moment. So just attempting a restart could remove all of the power that we have. It is illogical.
Well, we've
I mean,
got-
the way I see it, is either that or die.
Then you are reckless. And you
Listen,
are forgetful. There is a
we
ship.
have time.
There is a ship in space waiting for just such an occasion. Have you all forgotten about the extra gun cutter? We simply wait. It is the logical choice.
I don't think they will come get us.
They're not going to know we're in this thing if we can't heal them.
So, just one question, Jenny. Can you depressurize and put the oxygen back into the tanks just from the engine room?
No, there is no way for me to do that. I cannot just reverse. I cannot just... It is possible, but it would take much work.
Because here's what I'm thinking. We can technically wait here, true, and pray to the Almighty God Emperor that things will happen. We could turn on the engines as a last resort if we really need to. I'm going to tap the side of the engine and say, I do believe this girl can, take it, but if you can look through the schematics of the ships, and now there's emergency power, maybe you could see if you can check where there are holes in the ship, and if you're able to revert the oxygen flow back into the tanks, I could go out there with the suit, with the help of the Arius, and Mordecai, and Anzio, and Hector too, maybe, and we could close some of the holes, patch it up, and, maybe give us more time.
What have we got?
That is an excellent idea, Liliana. Where is your plasma cutter? Where is your sealant foam? Where is your mechanical repair kit? We do not have these.
I'm just going to
ask for the plasma cutter.
I'm going to point at Mordecai and say, Mordecai can create flames out of thin air. We could technically use them to make a, patch seal.
And patch it with what? I understand you are all looking for solutions to our current problem, as am I.
What do you think about the flooring? Maybe about the floor plates?
Then how much time do you want to apply to removing said floor plates?
As much as necessary, I suppose. I could try it, see if it goes anywhere.
Again, this is all illogical. You wish to use up vital oxygen and air on something that at the moment would take many, many hours. And with what equipment? With what resources? All second hand.
Right.
If we were on a space station in a safe part of space, perhaps I would agree. At the moment, we are in an irradiated asteroid field.
Aside from waiting for that.
Right. No,
I suggest that you be quiet, sit still, and conserve oxygen and power.
Listen.
And let me work.
It takes 6 hours. Guys, it takes 6 hours for the gun cutter to get here. So we have about that much time to figure out a way to try and signal them if we want to go that way. Okay? That's unless they're going full fucking speed, which takes them an hour approximately. But that, with the debris field as kicked up as it seemed to be when we first got in here, I doubt they're going to go full speed. In the meantime, Jenny, why don't you go take a look at all the stuff, see what you can find out, see if there is anything you can just determine about the electrical systems and stuff from in here. We'll either entertain ourselves or sleep to use up less oxygen. In the meantime, I'm going to go over there and check that corpse. And I go over there and search the engine soon.
Please do not touch him. He is at rest. He has done his duty well. And the Omnisire will reclaim what is his.
Yeah, the Omnisire will reclaim whatever he has when we get out of the situation. Right now, we need everything we can, and if he has something, we're going to need it. Quite simple.
That is the logical solution.
Ooh, that's a...
Do not desecrate his remains. Oh, she stays at two fortune points. Okay. So, what did you want to do with the Tech Priest's remains?
At the moment, lightly pat it down just to see if there's anything that sticks out. I know this thing probably has augmetics and shit, so anything that just kind of sticks out as like a limb or whatever, just ignore. But if there's anything bulky enough to not be, such as in large square angular objects like a las pistol or something along the lines, or
he does have a las pistol and 2 extra clips. And it is a las pistol. It's the military version. I can't remember the name for it now. The 4?
I think
the Mark 4?
Mark 4? That's one of the really good tier ones.
I believe it's a Mark IV las pistol. It is the it's not the Forge World's best, but it was Warzone. There it is. Ranged. Was it the Mark IV?
Shouldn't be the Mark IV. Mark IV is the upgraded one. Pretty sure, at least.
Where are you? So it is the yeah, it's the Mark IV. It's a 1 and a V.
Oh,
No,
okay.
one and V's not 4. Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Yeah, it's
It is
the
4.
it's the 70 meter accurate, reliable. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the good one.
Well, yeah, it is a good one. So I'm going to make a show of taking it off the body and setting it aside. I'm not pocketing it or anything, just so I can continue searching and make sure there's nothing we are going to need on him.
No,
Jenny?
he genuinely. I mean, most of his belongings are technically in this room.
Yeah.
So Jenny would know where his storage cot is, where he sleeps, and because engine seers on these types of crafts live in their room, in their engine rooms. They don't leave them.
Yeah.
So most of his items, like you'll probably see a couple of empty unguent bottles, the exact same that Jenny carries with her. But yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing else of note except from his cybernetics.
Okay. It was worth a shot,
Jenny?
and I'll leave the pistol there. I'll take it.
Jenny, maybe this is a dumb question, but are the ship's guns still attached? And can you give them power to fire?
How much power do you think it will take to bring online the weapons? Not that I have looked. And for another, do you think it is easy to control the weapons from back here? I would need to do a bypass to take over helm control. It can be done. It will take time.
Again, I don't know, you're the tech priest. But again, I'm just thinking of options. If we can signal SOS with the guns, then that also helps, because if the gun cutter is going to be coming by in 6 hours, if we can show at least any form of being alive, life signs, or anything, that may help our rescue.
I am working. Please, let me finish.
Yeah. Just leave Jenny in the door thing.
So,
Actually, I'm just going to ask Jenny one last question. Just point me towards the cot. Point me towards the engine seer's cot, please.
she points over to, essentially it is, if I clear some of the things, it's basically the other side of where Hector is. There's now that Jenny's pointing to it, you can see that there's an indent in the wall, and as you go and run your hand over the indent, you can feel that it pushes in slightly, and as you push it, it does, the metal bends inwards slightly. So there was a dent outwards, and you push it in, and it goes in and releases a very, very small cot. It's just about big enough that if you lie on your side, you can sleep, but if you topple a bit, you'd easily fall off. You're kind of surprised that anyone would choose, but tech priests, they're weird.
Okay.
So,
Doesn't look to be anything in the way of items around here. A bed, more or less.
it's just a bed. As you look around, it doesn't seem as if he had any other items kept in the stash in the bed.
Right. Okay.
So, Jenny keeps the radio on, and essentially you just hear the repeat, the comms operator basically reaching out to the sanctum. 20 minutes go by, and you hear some pleasing coming from Jenny, as a bit of Tequilingua comes out, and Hector takes his place around Jenny, just going round chanting to the machine spirit. 111711170111. Just going round. Who knows? So, another 20 minutes go by, and Jenny turns to you all. It appears as if the orcs have done more damage to the internal wiring than I had first hoped. Their impromptu air hatch has cut through several key power points. They were not shut off, and we are draining power. The only upside is that our short-range broadcaster is operational. However, if the sanctum is destroyed, they will not be able to pick up any broadcasts. And if they are, they will not hear us because of the radiation, the background radiation. Things are not looking good at the moment, but I will attempt to shut down the power leakages from here. If the Omnisire is with me, I will be able to shut them off.
When you say they can't hear us, will just appear as feedback on their...
We may be able to send messages. They will pick up our carrier wave, but not hear us. The interference will be too much. But this, should they notice the carrier wave, it should be enough to allow them to triangulate our coordinates. And it will be Imperial, so they should know it is us. She shrugs at it at that last bit.
Okay.
It
But
seems like our life is very much in your hands right now.
it is in the Omnisire's hands. I am merely his conduit. She returns to her Cognite units and begins typing. Going from essentially this entire Cognite bank, just going from one side to the other, tapping out. You'd notice over the next 20 minutes, her typing becomes more feverish, quicker, her hand movements much faster. For someone who is unaugmented, at the very least. You see a shift in power as the hour mark comes up. The lights flicker, and they almost go to a more dull glow as Jenny lets out a sigh. I have been able to stop the power drain from the orc's damage. And I may be able to get some rudimentary systems online as well. But I am not sure there's a violent like power surge as everything goes down.
Fuck.
Put your vac suits back on. I do not know what has happened.
I put the helmet back on and sealed it.
Yeah,
Yep,
put the suit
I
back
do
on.
the same.
You hear a lot of tequilingua come out of Jenny's mouth, or her augmented part of her vocal cords. It would appear as if a machine spirit has been angered by my works. I will need time.
Right.
That's one thing we don't have a lot of right now.
No, but we can open the door and get shit done while she does that.
I'm going to get up from my kneeling position.
You
I'm going to
cannot
hug-
open the door, Darius. There is no power.
Yeah, of course, it's a part of hydraulic door, isn't it?
And
I'm
there
going to
is
hug-
still air in this room. I just do not know what will happen.
I'm going to hug the engine, this panel of the engine or whatever I can hug next to the engine, and just say, "Come on, baby, keep us alive just a little longer."
So, half an hour passes as you're all in darkness except from the lights of your vac suits. And
Stab light.
yeah, the stab lights. Oh well, yeah, your stab lights, but your vac suits also have them. As half an hour passes, the lights come back online, and the Vox picks up again as it was not turned off.
Sanctum. Come in, Sanctum. This is the Emperor's Profiteer. Sanctum, can you hear us? Come in. Profiteer, can you hear? Emperor's Profiteer, can you hear it? Can you hear me? This is the Sanctum. We're coming out of a radiation hotspot. Systems are... We've lost contact with the awaited... Sanctum. Sanctum. This is the Emperor's Profiteer. Sending data spurt now. Come in, Emperor's Profiteer. This is the Sanctum. We have adjusted our Vox frequency. We can hear you now. We've lost contact with the away team. The last thing we saw was the ship explode. I told them to get to safety, but they couldn't get to our shuttle in time. Sanctum, this is the Emperor's Profiteer. You must enter the radiation field and search for them. The second shuttle is en route to assist. We are also sending all of our reclamation ships that were in the area to your coordinates. Find them. This is Sanctum here. Orders understood. Emperor be with us. Sanctum out.
Alright. We're
I will begin broadcasting the short-range emitter now.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's just hope it works.
Yeah. We can just hope at the moment.
Jenny keys in some numerals on her cognite and hits a switch. It is on repeat. We now just wait.
Okay. I'll be sitting as close as I can to any output for the Vox and listening for any changes in the transmissions.
Sure, you can do that. Jenny hasn't really moved far away from that console either, but she makes a bit of room.
I'm going to move next to the door, and I'm gonna keep a hand on the door.
Power
Just
is
because
back
if I-
online. Just
Okay.
you do have power. It won't just spring
And
open.
I just want to keep the hand on the door because if someone boards the ship and there are vibrations, I can actually, notice it easier.
Okay. So, an hour goes by. An hour of nail-biting tension as you're not sure what's going on. You're in the wall there, my friend. As you're not sure what's going on out in the void. Technically, you're actually on the tech priest, so smooth you over. You speak of
Somehow
vibrations.
the scars got removed. Like
No,
do
I just didn't
remember.
put the corpse down. The skeleton.
Didn't you put it down last time?
No, I didn't.
Must have misremembered. Or
An
I have
hour
imagined
goes past, and there's no sign of rescue. However, you can make me perception tests. Awareness tests.
Any negatives?
Nope.
This
This is a challenging test.
Awareness. No bonuses, no negatives. Hey!
Hey.
Whoa, Anna. Hey!
Jenny
That's what
has
you want to
this.
see.
Oh, Jenny, no! She's too focused.
Jenny, fuck.
So, for those of you who succeed,
That's you. No.
I was too asleep. I got ordered to sleep, so I went to sleep.
for those of you who succeeded, there's a weird vibration, and you swear you can hear or feel ding, 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 coming from the hull.
I'm going to. I don't think there are any metal pipes or anything next to me, so I'm just gonna grab the backside of my comma and I'm gonna start, tapping SOS on the door. So if anybody hears it, And I'm gonna tell the rest of the group. I'm still hearing things picking off. It might be debris hitting the
Lock
ship.
My shuttlers.
It may be debris hitting the ship, or it may be something touching the ship. I have no idea. It's just ping, 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 ping. So, Jenny, any ideas?
Maybe a signal SOS to them back with some kind of hammer, or the stock of your.
Sorry, not tech use. That should have been logic.
Way ahead of
which
you, buddy.
is on the same one, so I'll let her pass because it's on int. I will roll it just in case. But she can use the 13 because they're exactly the same, just different numbers. So with 4 degrees, 5 with 1 for succeeding. It sounds like debris, but I am not sure. I recommend putting vac suits back on. She puts her headpiece back on.
Yeah, there's a little bit, there might be a lot, so...
I'm just going to close the helmet again.
Yeah. Same. Just gonna do whatever I'm told.
Another hour passes. No more debris seems to hit, or whatever that was. Maybe you continue tapping on the walls. SOS, SOS. I'm not going to dot it out. But yes, 2 hours of darkness. 3 including the time that Jenny spent fixing things. And yet another hour passes. Before the silence of space is broken. Away team, come in, this is the sanctum. Can anyone hear me? This is the sanctum, come in.
Is this in our microbeads or in the Vox machine?
Yes, this is on your microbeads.
I'm just gonna... took you guys long enough.
Don't be fucking sarcastic in this moment. We're on a fucking gun cutter.
By the
I'm
phone,
just
you're
looking at
alive. Okay, okay, give us a minute. There's a lot of debris out here. We need to check your airlocks and see if they're still usable.
We don't really have one. There's a fucking hole in the bottom of the ship. The only thing keeping the air in is the engine room door, engine bay door, where we're held up.
Yeah, I can see the gun cutters, Imperial airlocks. Our side looks pretty battered at the moment. Moving around to the other side. Give me a minute. The captain has brought in the reclamation ships to try and salvage or assist. If we can't get an airlock seal, we can protect you from debris until the reclaiming ships come. Have you got life support?
I look at Jenny.
I look at Jenny.
I also look at Jenny.
I followed the train.
Hector turns around and looks at Jenny. We do. At the moment, I have been able to bring life support online through auxiliary backup battery supplies. But we do not have... We now have, including our suits, 20 hours. 19 hours. Okay, that's bad news. The reclaiming vessels will be here in 20.
Okay.
Okay, we've come to the other side. One moment. By the Emperor. It looks like it's okay. It looks untouched. Give me 10 minutes and I'll see if I can bring us in and we'll try and make an air seal. Sound doesn't travel in space. so you don't know what just happened.
No.
Not very
Okay.
well, no, but we can feel vibrations if it's large enough.
I mean, something good it is that gives us some kind of vibration.
No, you wouldn't know. So there's a tense 15 minutes or so that go by, and you feel the ship knock to the side, but then rather than carrying on moving, because again there's no inertial dampeners, so when you get hit, when the other ship comes into dock, you feel the jolt far more than what you should if everything was online. And a few moments later, this is a sanctum. We have a good seal. Come on over.
Which side are you on?
We're on the right side.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say starboard, starboard.
I think everything looks to the stars, so I think everything's starboard. So.
I think they still do use them as well.
I think they do too, actually. But okay. I look at everyone. Are we ready then?
I suppose. Better than waiting here for our certain death.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up. No, do some stretches. Hold the comma firmly in my hand. Just point the chain back, throw it at there, and say, "Come on, buddy, come the line. Let's go."
Yeah, we're gonna have to hold on as soon as we open the door. Press. And yeah, so everyone hold on to something while the door is opened.
How long is that comma chain?
Think it's 5
5
meters?
Meters or feet?
I don't remember.
Because it's
6.
6 feet, we could all...
6. 6 meters. 6
Okay.
meters.
Just
So we can
everybody.
all do the chain.
Everybody, get close up, bunch up together.
Jenny goes and gets into the straps for the tech priests and straps herself in. I will be fine. The Omnisire protects.
Yeah, you said that last time you got fucking thrown around the sanctum. Right, everyone pile up.
I'm going to bonk my head on Darius' head and say, Darius,
There you go.
last thing we did back there, I could seriously kiss you. But I'm promised. But if we die here now, it was a pleasure knowing you, buddy.
Hector, open the door. By the Omnisire's will.
You sure you want to use
Hector,
Hector? He's gonna fucking. Okay, fuck it.
Hector clamps down onto the console, and a tiny mechadendrite comes out and pokes the button.
Before he can
The
finish,
door-
I'm making sure my fucking suit's unsealed. Or is sealed, not my suit is sealed. I meant on
I'm-
and sealed at the same time as unsealed. Fuck's sake.
I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to make sure to hold as firmly as I can.
Oh, boy.
Jenny opens this door. Well, Hector opens the door, and it opens as quickly as it can. So all the air escapes as quickly as it can. You'd see that Hector, tiny little mechadendrite arms, just about hold him on with his anti-gravitic technology assisting him. There is a vacuum sucked out, and the las gun that you placed so nicely on the floor.
Bye bye.
Yeah, and the tech priest is going too, so.
Jenny would.
Oh, no, Jenny harnessed herself
Assist.
into it.
Yeah, the tech priest is basically here, so Jenny would assist in keeping him to the spot.
Alright. That's not my fault. She was the one that went over there and looked at it on the fucking floor and didn't say anything, so.
It hasn't gone that far. As all the air goes out, well, the door comes up. It's a small area, like Mythbusters showed, once all the air, it's only for a moment. So if you were next to the door, you're fucked. Whereas if you're where you guys are, you get pulled, but then it's over.
We
And
would have
you'd
been a lot
find-
more fucked if it was about this size.
Yeah.
If it was any smaller, we would have been fucked.
And it's the amount of air. If it was a completely pressurized ship, and the side got blown out like that, yeah, a lot of you in the engine room would be going. But it isn't.
Yeah.
As you get to terms, you put your stop hugging so tightly. Jenny unclips herself, and you can see that it is indeed no gravity. But don't worry, you don't have to roll this time to move around. You can quite easily exit the ship and enter onto the other gun cutter, which surprise is basically the same as this gun cutter.
Oh.
Shock.
But when you get aboard,
Wow.
we go over to the system map. Because there is no more need for that map. Darius, you can pick up the lasgun if you so wish. It is
Sure.
at the end, well, midway between the opening, between the galley and the engine bay. The two lasgun clips, you've got no idea where they went.
No. Oh well. I can still recharge the one, so it's fine. Again, I left it at the side of the thing. Jenny fucking could have done it. Here's one
So-
money.
As you make your way to the gun cutters, the Sanctum gun cutters airlock, you can see a very, very green looking person. Like, not orky green, but this person's been sick a few times on the other side of the airlock, like waving to you through the glass. It's the rifleman who let you on the last time, the enforcer.
So not John. Bob.
No, not Jean. Jean is currently getting fixed in the medibay. Who's the other one? Seeing you all inside of the airlock, he hits the button and the Imperial one shuts. Well, the Sanctum's airlock shuts. It's re-oxygenated. His door opens with a of pressure equalizing. Wow. I can't believe you guys are alive. Can't believe we're alive, actually.
Yeah.
As you remove your vac
It was
suits,
easier when they stopped shooting at us, to be honest.
once you remove your vac suits, there's the smell of sick.
Okay.
I put the vaccine back on.
Yeah, I just put I lift the helmet off enough. I go, no, put it back on.
Yeah,
I
I seal
just
my
bring it
helmet
off.
back on
It's
again.
no point. You're gonna use this all eventually. So what happened with you guys? We were. Fuck.
Well, the power cut out all over the ship. Went dark for a few moments. Then the pilot said something about radiation affecting systems. And then after that, he like thinks about what just happened, and you can tell he just fights back something coming back up, and he kind of gives you a wave. Yeah, only the Emperor knows what happened. I'm gonna go and sit down. Mordecai. I think you had the well, I think you all were given. No, I think Mordecai was given the comms for the pilot.
Yeah, it was.
So, after getting on board and taking a moment, you get a message come through from the pilot. If you wanna, do you need anything? Were any of you hurt? Do you need the medical bay, or can we leave? I'd like to get out of the asteroid field now.
I can wait till we finish. I can wait till we get out.
I think we're good to go.
I think the other ship is coming to reclaim that ship, right?
Yeah. I've left a marker buoy. The reclaiming vessels will be here in for a few hours.
Let's get ourselves to a safe distance and get the fuck out of this debris field. Fuck.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Sure.
I've had enough.
Everyone go and tie yourselves in again. If the Emperor's with me on so far, we should make it out unscathed.
I'm still holding the camel, by the way. I'm just going to go to the place where I strap myself in and then strap the camel's chain on the thing too.
I asked you to throw the chain over.
As I'm making my way over to a seat to get strapped in, I'm muttering under my breath. If I survive all of that, only to fucking die because he flies into a fucking rock, I'm gonna fucking strangle him at the fucking Emperor's table.
Jenny goes and locks herself in.
Because he's the rock, I don't think you'll have
I just looked dead in your eyes and go, I think he's more than earned his acclaim as the second best pilot.
Lillian's just like, shh, people, don't fucking jinx this.
Okay, if everyone's strapped in, here we go.
We're good to go.
Okay, so to save some of the story that we had last time, I'll speed this up. There's about half an hour of harrowing flying. He seems to have the God Emperor's approval for this mission because his roles, and I'll tell you this now, when he detached, he had to do an aerial acrobatics in order to avoid the incoming debris. He got a 33. He then had to fly through the debris. He got a 16. He then had to renegotiate the debris field, which slowed him down. He got a 55. And then trying to locate the orc ship again, he got a 63. And then he's just been getting like 35s, 26s, 44s. The tech priest had a bad time. The tech priest got a 91, the first auger search, then got an 11. That's why you had to wait longer. The gunner was able to shoot down 2 lots of asteroid debris that were heading towards you. That's what the thinking on the hull was. And then he's just rolled a natural 20, a 45, and a 51 to get out of the debris field. And the last roll is literally him just plotting a course out. So I genuinely was going to have him die. The Sanctum just gets destroyed. But I thought I'd give him rolls. And all of his rolls were like, yeah, you've earned this.
The Emperor demands it.
He deserves a promotion to the best pilot in the fleet now.
Fucking hell, man.
The Sanctum will reappear at one point.
Excellent.
Was there a name of the ship we were just in? The other gun cutter?
No, you weren't able
We
to actually
never-
bring up the main cognite units that house that kind of information. Jenny was just working off of the auxiliaries and the maintenance cognites.
No.
And she wasn't really looking for heraldry.
Did we name it something last time?
I don't know if you guys named the one that you were in, but the Sanctum's the one that took you there.
Alright,
So-
so I'm gonna bless it as His Majesty's Imperial Tombstone. Okay, there you go.
I was going to call it the Rusty Bucket.
Devastation. Devastation.
Rusty.
So, it takes you half an hour to get out of the debris field from where you are. It seems as if the explosion of the orc ship did actually push your vessel into a different area of the asteroid field. Fortunately, closer to the bounds of it. But after leaving the debris field, I believe you have half a day on the gun cutter as you get back to the rogue trader's ship.
Okay, first things first. Liliana's gonna get the sick guy to actually clean the shit up. Because, for the love of almighty God Emperor, that shit stinks. And then she's gonna spend her time just working out, because there's nothing better to do.
Sure.
Okay.
So half a day passes.
Yeah.
Do any of you need medical attention at this moment in
I do.
time? So
I will also give Darius a kiss on the cheek.
So Darius, you're up. She gets a +20, and she'll use medicine from. Now, didn't Jenny staple you all up before?
I did, but I got hurt in the run.
So you get 10 points of health, 11 points of health back, as she staples more wounds shut.
Dunk.
To be fair, I only did 4, so.
She overdid it. If every staple is a point of health, she overdid it.
No. She did that last time too. Oh, fucking everyone.
Overkill is underrated.
So
It's not overkill, it's overheal.
you get back to this sleek, fast sprint luxury good rogue trader vessel. It is like a blade in space, and a welcome sight after your ordeal. And as soon as the pilot has shut down, the shuttle bay has been closed up, and you get the go ahead to lowering the ramp. If you want to make your way off, now's the time.
Thank him indeed.
Liliana's going to get up, stretch again. She's gonna punch, not punch hard the pilot, but she's gonna punch the pilot on the show and say, "You sir, did an amazing job." And she's going to leave.
Thank you. As you walk off.
I still say you deserve to be the best pilot.
Well, thank you, sir. The God Emperor just was with me today, I think. I'm
With
sure.
all of us, it seems, but thank you for getting us back in one piece. After all that fucking happened, not have liked to end up with more debris. So thanks for that.
He kind of like, now that he's like, okay, my job's done. He takes out a low stick and just, oh, okay. Like you can see the pressure is releasing from the man as we speak. But once you get off the gun cutter, you can already see that servitors are coming in and spraying the hull of the vessel with some sort of agent. Some sort of liquid is being sprayed up, and servitors are busy at work. You can see that from the outside, once you get where you've got a good view of the gun cutter you were just exited, it's got a few small impact craters. Fist-sized lumps, but not enough to puncture the armoured ceramite of the ship.
Okay. So someone was punching our ship.
But as you get to the main hangar door, you're coming round in your group. Some of you slowing down to have a smoke. Some of you just looking back, just like, wow, I can't believe we made it through that. You see the rogue trader captain rushing down to this ship hangar. Is everyone all right? No casualties, is there?
Of course not. It was a cakewalk.
I mean, our route was a casualty.
No, more or less fine.
Your-
Shaken, but
What's in
your
the
boot.
park?
The oh well, I don't know about the orc vessel, but there was some decent items to be acquired for sure. We'll be bringing your gun cutter back, I suppose. It will need some repairing, but should you wish to claim it as your part of the deal, I see no problem with that. It's good to see that the God Emperor has protected his finest. I was worried when we saw the radiation spike and the orc vessel be destroyed. It is good to see that you are all alive and unscathed.
It's good to be back. And that man deserves a raise. That pilot.
I will speak to my my officers about it. You'll at this point you'll probably notice that a number of panting I can't remember the word for them. Some
camps.
panting acolytes, essentially. They're scriveners, scribes. They like carry around like they've each got a bundle of data slates with them, and they're going through them as they're running, trying to, organize things. The rope trader captain turns around. Take note. We will speak to. We will raise the Sanctum's pilot.
Say, sir, out of curiosity, how much would you pay for the cutter?
I don't know at this moment in time. It would depend on the damage to it, but I have acquired a decent number of interceptors and the like from this area. Although we have put a stop to all reclaiming efforts once we heard that you were in need. But I have, since learning of your safety, I have told them to continue with their duties. One was sent to reclaim the vessel that you were on.
All right.
Let us hope that the God Emperor blesses them as he blessed us.
Well, I'm sure they'll be fine. Why don't you all go up to your suite and get some rest, and perhaps tomorrow we'll have another lesser banquet, and you can tell me about what happened over there.
That
Okay.
sounds most pleasurable.
Yeah, I do with a good rest.
May I?
I need a shower.
Hey, you pecked me on the cheek. I'm not that fucking.
Not because of that, my friend.
I just look at the captain while they're joking around. It's like, before I retire to my room,
Yeah.
may I speak to your astropath? I have a message I wish to send to our benefactor.
Yes, if you wish to send a message, you may.
Thank you. And I go off towards wherever the astropath would be.
I'll head towards the elevator after joking around and head up to the room. I'll tell the rest of the group if they need me, come on ahead into the room and chat. But I'm going for a lie down. Get you.
I'm just going to light another little stick. I'm just going to I'll be in my room. If you need me, I'll be passed out in there. And I'll go take a shower.
So, Mordecai, it will take you probably about 40 minutes to walk. Yeah, to walk to the astropathic choir room. If you want to do it that way, you can send a message. They'll, your cognate can type out a message, and then that can get sent to them if you prefer.
I think I'd rather do it in person. I got along with the I can't remember what they're called now. I have it written down. Bob Iger. I got along with him last time.
I forgot. Iger.
Yes,
So,
it is. Yes, it is.
And besides,
Still
this
need to
is
find an
a
excuse to
message
kill
I
that
want,
one.
and as this is the message I want encrypted and sent to the Inquisitor, yeah, I'd definitely be doing this in person. Rather
And
than
he trusts Bob Iger with encrypted fucking messages.
Sure, you can do that. So 40 minutes after you've arrived on the ship, you make your way to the astropathic choir chamber. There's basically a console there that you can basically ring through on, and you'll see that there's I think he has 2 astropaths on the ship, maybe 3, but you can see that Bob's name is there, and you can ring through directly to him.
Oh, I'd do that, yeah. No, I'll start to lose it because his name is Bob.
So the door opens, and you can see that Bob is stood there. He greets you and come on in, fellow acolyte.
Thank you, my lord astropath. I enter the room.
He laughs a little bit. Don't be silly. Titles like that are not needed. You are a fellow acolyte of the Astra Telepathica, as am I. If anything, I should probably be calling you Lord.
Maybe one day, but not for many years, I think.
So as you come into the Astra, once the door shuts, there is a deadening sensation once in here. Like your connection to everyone else outside has been quieted. Not completely, but it definitely feels as if there are Astra Telepathica wards and things on the astropath's entire chamber, like you'd see in a moment once you go and sit down. And this is the astropathic choir, their living quarters, their everything is in this. It's almost a little house within a skyscraper, within a massive country.
What?
The size of the ships, because they're so massive. But this section is like its own little tiny section within. It's kind of odd, but everything you could need to live is in the astropath's area of the ship. They don't need to leave.
And it's better to say they don't want to leave either.
True, especially with how the Imperium views Psychers. Same with the Navigator. The Navigator is basically in his own chamber and has everything that he would need in his area, so he doesn't need to talk to the rest of the crew and be seen and like screamed at, mutant.
It doubly helps with him because he's ugly as fuck and mutated as shit.
Yeah. Come on in. Have a seat. Can I get you any refreshments?
Just some water. I've had a rather taxing, adventurous day.
Very well. He could probably do that himself. As he takes you into like a office, not an office, an entertaining areas where like the captain can come and have a word with him and pass along messages, and it's all very comfortable and businesslike. A small boy comes along with a pitcher and a glass, fills it up. He dismisses the servant, goes away somewhere. What did you want to speak about?
But I was just wondering if I could trouble you to send a encrypted message to have a quick look around. It's like my benefactor.
Do you want that sent to Interrogator or Inquisitor? Speak candidly, please. In this chamber, we are all instructed in the arts of secrecy. We must be.
To the Inquisitor. I feel as if there is some knowledge that I may be able to glean from records that are not normally permitted to be gleaned from, that be directly helpful to my team's endeavours.
Very well. If it is important enough to send to your Inquisitor, I am more than happy to send a message.
Thank you.
I'll give you a chance with this. I'll give you a chance. Can you roll me intelligence, please?
Just flat intelligence?
Just flat intelligence.
I have a fate point that because that was close. If that's okay.
You can. It's not. This isn't going to be life changing, but you can if you wish.
If it was a bigger difference, I wouldn't. But because it was fairly close, I do want to give it a go.
Sure.
Oh, that looks a lot better. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay then.
So you're not a military man, Mordecai, but as you say, as you think Inquisitor, you've never met your Inquisitor before. You've met your interrogator. No, you've met your interrogators. You think to yourself, maybe I should go with my contact, as that would be the chain of command. So you want to send your message to Acolyte Ted.
I correct myself after a bit of studying. Go.
Fleshy bear in a armor piece.
Is this Bob and Ted's magical adventure? I stop him and correct myself. Go to Acolyte Ted. It's probably best if I follow the correct chain of command.
Yes, very well. I will do that then. I'll address it to this Ted on the Inquisitorial channel. To your Lord's inbox. Should that make any difference?
Pardon, what was that? Sorry,
that's
my Ted broke up.
If it makes any difference, because it all goes to the same Inquisitorial hotbox message box. It's just listed to Ted, because that is technically your handler. Ted, Marinus, Mayus,
something like that.
Sorry, did you say it all goes to the same Inquisitorial hotbox?
Yeah.
Yes.
Theodore something.
I did.
I think you got something on the mind there. Not currently appropriate.
There you go. There's your Inquisitorial handler's name.
I'm gonna jot it down as Theodore, because he's our handler. I don't think he's tattooed to us yet.
Well, he's Latilla's acolyte. You haven't met Latilla either yet, so.
No, precisely why I don't think he would, present himself to us as, Ted, because,
But that's his name. How dare you? The proud name of Ted, where he comes from, is passed down through warriors. Just because on Earth, Ted's not a cool name. On his planet, it was before the Gene Stealers
Wow,
came.
way to call out all the fucking Teds out there.
Good point.
Racist.
Good point.
Racist.
So,
Kappa.
you can pass on your message, and he'll basically tell you he'll send that off as soon as you're done here.
Many thanks. Please let me know when a reply is sent.
Oh, immediately. As soon as it will be directed to you.
I bow my head and say, I look forward to seeing you at this mini feast the captain is planning on.
Oh, no. I believe that will just be for you and your party members. We have duties to perform, and we can't be feasting every, couple of days like that. It wouldn't be good for us.
Well, that makes at least some sense.
But
Should
I'm
leave you
sure
to
I
your
will see you
duties.
around.
Yes, I'm sure I shall see you too. Wait, that. It's been a long day.
He bows and smiles. And you make your way out.
Yeah, I bow and then leave.
So, the rest of the day will basically be made up of relaxing and just taking it easy. Is there anything you guys wanted to do in your personal time? Like talk between each other, look at things?
I would like to discuss what we should do with our gun cutters, with the group.
I mean, we're gonna have to wait for it to arrive and all first before we can get a full grasp of what we can actually do with it. To be honest, but
Could you repeat that?
we'll have to wait for it to arrive or get, grabbed and shit before we can get a full grasp of what we can actually do with it. But possibly selling it or using it as our own craft comes to mind.
Oh, we're not gonna sell Emily. We're keeping her.
I mean,
I've already named
with
it.
what money will we sustain her? With what money will we pay the Inquisitor? Do remember we have a debt on our heads.
I mean, I'm currently not saying this because I'm probably not passed out in the bath. But out of character, even then, a gun cutter is a very good thing to keep.
Yeah.
I know, but that's a million of drones we need to give.
Yeah, the gun
They're
cutters
a lot easier to make when we have a ship than by
Of
selling a ship.
Uh,
Ask, not a ship. That's an important dissection. Unless you guys really want it.
we're gonna have to get it repaired with the hull and damages and the engine bay and everything, as well as the fungus.
Door shit.
Do any
Yeah.
of you know about the fungus? Because I'm pretty sure I was the only one that
I think
See,
you're
it
the
was
only one
mine.
that I think you're the one that actually knows. That was more out of character than anything else.
Yeah,
Is it
and Mordecai would be either
about the
meditating or
protocols?
studying throughout this downtime. So
Well, when the kind of little discussion thing finishes, Darius will be in his room. Either he connects via comms or just stays in his room or leaves his room to do it. I'll be looking over the command button and the Mark IV just to make sure they're all clean, nice, and good condition and everything.
I was after the small discussions I had in the hallway. I would like to continue my studies on naval tactics.
Sure. So you would notice that the Mark IV las pistol, the grip has the sign of the Omnisire carved into it. It's two cogs that are meeting and cutting, rather than just one cog being on the center. It's made up with two cogs and then the half human skull, half metal skull motif on both sides of the grip.
Oh, okay.
And it has a different number.
There's a different number? Sorry?
Yeah, not that you would... you might notice this. It's a Mechanicus issued las gun, not an Imperial issued las gun pistol. So all of your guns may have started with 1A76 and then go into a really long number of the print issue. So the first part of it is, you know, Astra Militarum, this subsector, this guard regiment, or sorry, this guard military unit, and then the batch of the number of the las gun.
So
this one's complete. This one's completely different. Like, you've never seen numbers like this. But I will give it to you.
It takes up the entire fucking side.
No, I'll give it to you because you could easily just say, Jenny, what the fuck's this? And she could say it's a Mechanicus serial number. That's all it is. It's just, if anyone were to check this gun, the serial numbers on it, they could go, okay, it was a Mechanicus issue, sent to this Forge World, sent to this area, to this person, well, not person, but this training group. So every gun cutter, every Mechanicus engine seer who qualified would have been issued one of these guns, for example.
Yeah. Okay. And any details on the command button? Which is not a power weapon, it's actually a shock weapon.
It is a shock weapon. I actually couldn't find it when I was looking for it in the Rogue Trader book. And then I got exacerbated.
It's not in Rogue Trader, it's in Only War.
What? That can't be right.
For whatever reason.
I remember seeing it in... Right, see, I figured that it was in a different book of Rogue Trader because they have so fucking many.
Yeah.
Because it could be in Battlefleet Cronus where I saw it, which I think is just for ships, but it could be. You don't notice much about the command button, except from a naval almost signature. And I'll give me an intelligence roll. Hang on, have you got regalia? Or is it regalia? Have you got the skill that lets you heraldry? Have you got heraldry?
No.
I thought. So yeah, give me an intelligence test.
-20.
Not -20 because I was gonna give you bonuses. This is quite easy to. It's not obscure.
Okay.
So do your intelligence flat.
Right. Ah, son of a bitch. That's 1 degree off, 2 degrees off. 1 degree.
That is 1 degree and some change. Yeah, because you don't add 1 for failures.
I'll look at it again another time and try and work it out.
Sure.
And I'll spend a fate point because I only have 1 at the moment.
No, by all means, you can. Well, you've basically got half a day, so if you want to give it another roll, but then you won't be able to do any more rolls today.
I don't think I have to do anything else, so fuck it, why not? Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, there we go.
With an 11, it is the Ultramar. Ultramarine insignia. It's
Ultramarines?
Well, no, Ultramar. You're in the Ultramar
Okay.
segmentum. So in the Ultramar segmentum, they all use the Ultramarines symbol, the symbol of Ultramar in different ways. This command baton probably came from a ship within the Ultramar fleet. So, Battle Fleet Ultramar.
Okay. Battlefield. Battlefield.
Battle Fleet Ultramar. I think it's Ultramar.
Yeah, same after the segmentum. And then I can divide it into subsectors and sectors and Battle Fleet Ultramar. Reveal. Okay.
So, if there's anything else anyone wants to bring up, now would be a good time.
I'll learn a bit more on the NIDS before I torment Darius.
Sure. So that day comes to an end. So, we are now on the... So, just for a reminder, you got to the Orc ship. Yeah, you left to go to the Orc ship on the 22nd. It's now the 24th. Sorry, 64th. Now the 64th. I should really update your sheet that says the date. We change that to a 60. So as you're waking on the 64th. Why did I change it to 66? Because I'm a moron. Like most days, when you wake up aboard the Emperor's Profiteer, there is a luxurious breakfast laid out for you. And you basically have today to rest, recuperate until this evening, when the servants will basically tell you at 4 o'clock ship time will be an early dinner, so that stories can be told, information can be passed off, and yeah, a long private meal with the captain.
Okay.
So, should we speed up to the meal with the captain, or would you like to do anything with your, technically 8 hours?
Is there anything we, as a group, need to do, discuss or anything along those lines?
I mean,
Not
I
that I-
don't think there's anything we can discuss.
I think again, Lillian is just relaxing because Jesus Christ, that was too much. Sorry, Jesus Emperor, that was too much. And during her spare time, while she's relaxing, she's gonna see if she can find, any books or pamphlets or whatever on gun cutters. She's just gonna be reading up on those.
Yeah, that's not happening. They don't have pamphlets, and you can ask to have the material brought down to the cognites about the Imperial gun cutter.
Oh, yeah. Could we ask to bring our stuff back up? Or is it too late for that?
What stuff?
Or equipment. I mean, then again...
What, from the planet?
Yeah. Wait, we're still in space, right? Never mind, I'm derping.
Yeah, you're still at the asteroid field.
I mean, if they would allow me to, read up on stuff like that, I would ask, because staying in my room relaxing or staying on the library relaxing is
probably
not too bad.
be informed that knowledge such as that is garnered by the tech adepts of Mars, and they can't really assist you. They can give you the very basic. This is a gun cutter. It can carry this much. It needs this many crew. It needs, but yeah. As for
even if it's just a pilot book for the gun cutter or anything related to that, anything that I can get my hands on. If there's nothing, then I'll just relax.
There is almost nothing. You would, even for a rogue trader, he could probably. He could trade for them, but he doesn't. He can't. He can technically order a tech priest, give her your knowledge on the gun cutter, but it's an affront to the tech priests in most respects.
No. Liliana wants nothing like that. She's just like, if there's anything at all that she could get her hands on that wouldn't piss off the tech priest, then yes, please. Otherwise, nah, I'll just relax.
You get delivered an audio drama.
What?
You get delivered an audio drama on what are they called? I can't remember. On a group of Lightning Interceptor pilots, and there's a piece of data that comes with it that says Episode 6 features an Imperial gun cutter, where the fighter pilots have to protect the gun cutter as it drops off a group of unknown individuals into a hot area, and they battle against a Xenos flying craft to try and keep the gun cutter safe.
Good enough for me.
It's actually a real thing in lore.
Go ahead.
No, it's actually a real thing in lore. It's been brought up in audiobooks that the Imperium makes vidcast dramas to watch, and one of the good ones is one about Fury Interceptor pilots. I think they were.
Yeah, it's great to grab a few packs of space food for AKA Jews, and we just sit there and watch.
We can't decide if she got flipped off or if she actually got the right response.
What?
The Mechanicus.
So basically, you've got nothing better to do. You start on episode 1, and by the time you get to the episode with the gun cutter, you kind of get why they gave you this, because when the Fury Interceptors come up, the pilots give you the rundown of its maximum speed, its turn velocity, and all the numbers that certain people in our own country like to see next to pictures of people or things, and have the breakdown. America. You basically get that with the gun cutter as well, where it breaks down the pilots. They're all cheesy, smiling. Well, my craft can do, and it breaks it down. Crew capacity, guns, this, that, the other, cargo space. You get some knowledge, basic knowledge that this could be used as a small cargo vessel for small amounts of cargo, admittedly, compared to Imperial sizes. It can hold cargo. It's got rooms for it's got movability, it can have guns. Okay, it seems like a good craft. But apart from that, it's a good watch. It's an enjoyable series. The Imperium always wins.
Hey man, Liliana's smiling the entire way. She likes it.
Spaceships, yay!
She loves spaceships, man. That's her thing.
Spaceships.
So, after some binge watching, the time is upon us. You were informed an hour and a half, 2 hours before. It's almost time to get ready. Do you want anything special made? Do you need anything, brought to you? After some nonsense goes by, you're all dressed up and fancy, like you want to be, as you are led to the dining room. This time it is a different one. You're actually led up another section where, rather than all different marbles, here's all different metal elements. So gold, silvers, platinums, and any other imperial rare metal. It's all here, garnered on the walls, on the on the beams that seem to hold up these massive golden statues and silver iconography of the Emperor and the Imperium. And you are led to what almost looks like a Mechanicus door, with how intricate the metalwork is, except from it doesn't open in an intricate way. It just opens like a regular door, swinging on hinges. And you can see the captain is already sat there at a large oak table. Drinks are already on the table itself. This looks more like, in our world, a medieval meal, where there's just plates of food already on the table, and there's drinks and everything's already there. As you come into the room, the servant quickly shuts the door, and the captain turns around. It is good to see that you're all looking so much better after a day or so recovering. And I have news. He gestures towards the seats. As for the
gestures to them.
As for the gun cutter, it is in my ship's hull at the moment, in its hull space. We're currently looking over it, but it has received quite a lot of damage. It will take quite a lot to repair it, but I see no reason why I can't assist in at least getting it space-worthy again, or landing and planet side and space side. It shouldn't be too much of a bother for me to assist the Inquisition of all people in such a minor deed. Should you wish to keep it, that is.
Yeah, just not yes. Doesn't say anything about Inquisition ever. Yes, please.
We are most grateful, my Lord Captain.
I would like to know. I mean, if you could give us a list of what's wrong with it first, before we give you an answer. If that's not too much asked of you. It is a big decision after all.
Leon's just gonna look.
It's no minor thing.
I just nudge you in the shoulder, nudge you in the side with my elbow.
Like, out of character, he did say he would, fix the ship and give it to us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, out of character. Leon's just gonna look up.
My internet has been a bit spotty. I think you might have dropped. Sorry, this.
That's okay. I was just thinking of his response. Just
Yeah, I mean, if he offers to fix it, I say I will graciously agree with the party.
I'm no flyable. I just got like a man button.
If Liliana has to, she will learn how to fly that ship. God damn it!
Oh shit!
Yep.
Can I make a slight retcon?
about.
Can I add the command button as part of my uniform?
Sure, yeah, no, you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I can, of course, send the list of repairs to your tech priest, Jenny. He nods at her. She would probably be the only one suitable to handle such information.
Yes.
Yes.
He is fairly skilled in the subject. Unsurprisingly.
I will have a data wafer dropped off to your room this evening, Jenny. Jenny just nods along. But come, tell me, what happened aboard the vessel? What stories do you have? He pulls out his chair and sits down. You'd notice that, like I said, it's a medieval feast. There's smoked fish, there's dried fishes, salted fishes. Same with all different meats as well, and different poultries, as well as a few desserts that are on the table. Big decanters of wine and other liquids for you to all in easy reach of yourselves.
Okay. I'll wait for one of the others in the group to begin. So,
Well, first we boarded the vessel. Then your second best pilot made us wonder how good the best pilot would be with his marvelous flying. We docked a fish-like ship, orcish, and started exploring. Sadly, I was more at the end of the lander, so I think someone else should take over with what happened first, because I didn't see it all that clearly.
well, we all boarded the vessel, and surprisingly, there was still life aboard. I don't know too much about the Xenos, but a small gathering of orcs were aboard the vessel. Not witting on us or anything, but they were actually surprised to see us coming. Combat ensued, as any upstanding citizen would do against the Xenos threat. And, well, there was some form of malfunction towards the end of the fight, and the orc ship lost power, resulting in a majority of us getting swept off our feet with the sudden lack of gravity. Well, that was surprising for us. It was extra surprising for completely taken aback by it, and finished off rather quickly after that.
Well, it seems like a rather harrowing tale, to be honest with you.
Yes,
To be
well,
honest, I've seen bigger Xenos about.
there was at least some amusing facet. The orcs, they seem extremely prone to infighting. I believe one of the small ones, the little rump
Yeah,
size things, killed one of the larger ones. That was
I get
not
a
what I'd
feeling.
expected.
Yeah, I get the feeling the small ones have some kind of height complex, the way they went at the bigger ones instead of at us.
Well, interesting tale. Seems that size doesn't always mean victory.
I mean, when they sit to the back of your head, could be a rat, so to speak.
Well, fascinating. I've never had to deal with the greenskins myself, mono and mono. I have other more capable members of the crew for that.
Well, it was also the first time I saw them, to be honest. Must say, the primer is a lot different to the real stuff.
Ah, yes, you are only recently in the position to learn of the Imperial lies. He gives a wink and a smirk at that. Imperial citizens cannot handle the truth of things. It is a sad fact, but a fact nonetheless. Many of my crew are completely ignorant of life outside of this ship, and it is the best thing for them in many cases.
I don't know about that.
There are
Ooh.
certain truths that make life more convenient and easier if omitted.
Let me tell you a story of a rogue trader that I knew. He had an issue aboard his ship. One of his crewmen must have smuggled aboard something that he shouldn't have had, and it got to the masses. Before too long, this item, this pic recorder with footage that they should not have seen, knowledge they should not have had, well, that knowledge drove most of them insane enough to attempt to destroy the ship from within, their own home, no less. And the time at which they chose to do this? Whilst travelling in the warp. A terrifying, terrifying thought. Fortunately, my friend does not skimp on internal security, and neither do I. He was able to quash the rebellious mutineers before they were able to do too much damage.
That's why certain knowledges are only gifted to those who have the ability to comprehend and not betray the Emperor.
But that's just it. Do you know what they saw? The holographic pic, the pic recording. It was of a Imperial saint being martyred. It was an inspirational piece, a note of defiance against the enemy. As they did not flinch, they did not bend. They met their end, as we all should, stood proudly, knowing that our lives are but a drop, a star in the sky of the Imperium. There are many more. However, they were not aware of this. They believed it was a sign of it, the Imperium falling, that the God Emperor could not protect. Of course, it was not meant for public distribution. It turns out it was meant for the ecclesiarchy. They had manufactured the footage and had intended on giving a speech along with it to enforce belief, but their own device was turned against them.
Yes, well, things like that must be carefully constructed and organized to avoid a loss of faith.
I would point out that that story should not be told to, I don't mean those that should not hear it. By all means, if your work demands that you use that story, by all means, it is in use of the God Emperor. But otherwise, that little bit of knowledge could get the Inquisition looking into my friend and his crewmen. If he's still around. It has been some years.
Well, without all the details, that story can be told just like any other, how do I say this, tale aboard of a ship, like the several ones we know, like the several ones I know at least, because I've been aboard a ship most of my life, and there are some pretty fucked up stories, pardon my French, but yeah. Depending on what you whisper to people inside a ship, that it can lead to massive chaos. Finn,
Go ahead. Sorry.
a friend of mine once told a story about this ship that got boarded by, well, it was grabbed out in space by a tentacled flying monster that spilled inside the ship, ghosts of the damned. So, if you see something out there with tentacles, you should never go near.
Never go anywhere near anything with.
Oh, there are many things with tentacles. I think some may be beneficial, though.
Captain leans over and takes this golden brown ball with some sort of sauce and seasoning on top, and stabs it with a wooden toothpick. And oh yes, I don't like tentacles at all. They just look so disgusting. Oh, our build is how the God Emperor designed us to be, upright and with tentacleless.
But what are fingers if not?
They aren't
tentacles?
fucking tentacles.
I'm just going to raise an eyebrow, look at Mordecai, like, really? I'm going to compare our fingers to tentacles. Really?
Darius is staring at Mordecai at that, and are you serious? Have you even seen one of these fucking tendrils?
Tendrils?
Tentacles, tendrils.
Oh shit! I out of character. I forgot that your background was.
Oh, I've known this whole time.
That word, Darius. Do not. Is rather telling. If you don't mind me saying.
Would I have recognized it given that I have scholastic lore Tyranid?
The word tendril.
Or like, would I have clocked that that's... Because obviously I know that he's had dealings with them in the past.
You'd know that it at least comes up in scholastic lore.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not really a word that's used all that often away from them.
Yeah.
After taking a small moment, Darius will kind of rub his forehead and, sorry, Captain. Not what I expected to think about when I came to dinner.
It's quite alright. I have seen the devastation at least, that is left behind. It is a sombering experience.
Yeah, so they didn't leave much behind. Not this time, from what I hear.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow because Liliana doesn't really understand this. The only thing she knows is that, these are shipmates' tales. But, it's not sea, but deep in the void, and they tell children and stuff like that, so she doesn't really associate. She's just gonna raise an eyebrow. Okay, there is actually,
Darius
serious
is
right now.
kind of going through many kind of ticks. He's his hands to his head, and he's like moving it from holding his cheek up to patting his head to just kind of chewing a finger or chewing the tip of the finger, and his knee is he's twitching his knee, and it's constantly just kind of like gyrating up and down, and as he's sitting, not overly over the top. It's just if you're staring at the tablecloth, or if there is one on it, you would see it moving partially, and his eyes are looking around from side to side. Sorry.
How about I tell you a story of a planetary governor on a pleasure world who was caught with his trousers down and something inside of him that he probably shouldn't have had inside of him.
Actually, Captain, you mentioned saints a moment ago. I have not had the opportunity to see any of these video or the picked feeds or anything like that. But what would make someone a saint?
Well, the ecclesiarchy would have you believe that anyone they ordain as a saint is a saint. I believe the individual that was on the pick recorder was just some member of the ecclesiarchy, no true glory did that one ever achieve. But then there are those that are saints. Saint Augustine. That may be the wrong name. I think it's the name of the woman who brought the Imperial Creed into light. She was the remembrancer from Horace's ship. She changed her name, though. She was a remembrancer by the name of... Is it Lillian?
There's a Saint Augustine in Florida that has a K store in it. That's what I got from looking it up.
We're going to go with Saint Augustine for the moment. She is, of course, the first saint. She brought the Imperial truth, the Imperial Creed to light, championed it. But then there are stories of others, of women who could speak the name of great evils and banish them back into the dark, of those that could manifest great powers to turn the tide of battle. Whether they're true or not, I can't really tell you. The ecclesiarchy have made so many saints that when you look into them, they are saints of luxury, or saints of, well, saints of coin, most regards. When they need someone removed of higher up, they make them a saint normally, and have them fall ill or martyred or some such
Very well.
Why do you ask, Darius? Question of faith or just curious?
No, when you mentioned it earlier, you talked about standing tall in the face of this, that, and in front of the Emperor's enemies, and you you remind me of a priest I knew.
Ah, I see. Well, I was taught to respect the God Emperor's will, although I find his preachers can be taxing.
No, Cyrus wasn't much of a preacher. No, more military than anything else, if I'm honest. Oh, I always carried that bloody autogun.
Well, he sounds like a fine individual then. Too many of the ecclesiarchy are emperor botherers. He has far too much on his hands to deal with our nonsense. Only when we achieve deeds that he deems worthy of his intervention does he need to play a part.
Well, Eric's will kind of stare off into the distance for a couple of moments before. What of that governor?
Ah, yes. So, the governor of... And as he begins to speak, our camera begins to zoom out. As it appears as if we've got to the end of our episode. And the story that's about to be told is far too R-rated for YouTube nowadays. So, we will be ending our episode off here. I certainly do hope you've all enjoyed this episode and are looking forward to future episodes to come, where this Thursday we have more Warhammer Fantasy. So hopefully you'll join us for that. With nothing else to say other than take care everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.